Hi everybody, and welcome to my daily Chinese character. And in this channel, you're going to learn everything related to primitive Chinese characters so you understand and learn Chinese in a different way and more efficiently as well. So, first of all, I want to say that my name is Javier and I've been studying Chinese for many years, and it's been very difficult because the characters are numerous. It's thousands of them, as some of you language learners have known, but I've never given up. I've always been trying to do my best to memorize these characters, and I'm going to show you one of the ways that I have actually been very successful learning them. So, without saying much, again, let me say welcome and welcome you to my 3 ways how primitive Chinese characters can help understand and learn modern Chinese. So without saying much, let's get started so I can explain to you what this channel of Daily Chinese Character is about and how it's different from the others. So, first things first. Why learn primitive Chinese? Well, again, not learn, but understand. Old drawings show better pictures. So, let's take an example. So we have this character, and this is the modern Chinese writing, and this character means ox or bull. Well, the primitive character is as such. So here we have the horns, here we have the head and the trunk, and here we will have the limbs of the bull. So again, that's how the simple Chinese began their pictures, and the primitive pictures we can see how they look. It looks more like a bull. But again, modern writing, because of the writing system and the ink, they had to change how they wrote. Another example, which is again another animal, is the word fish, or the writing fish. So the ancient character, again, it's a picture. And here we have the head, here we have the body, and then this are the scales as well. And this, some will say that's the tail, others will say it's just part of the scales. But again, it's a picture. You're starting to see how the picture is transferring to the modern writing. And then let me give you one last example of how old drawings show a better picture. Here, as you may guess, this character means a child. In the old meaning, this character was drawn as such, and it meant newborn. Why? Because this character showed itself to be the head of the baby, the head right here, the body, and then the arms. But where's the legs? Well, apparently because it's a newborn, it is just being born. So this is the representation of the child. So is this making a little bit more sense how the pictures here are showing what the old drawings actually meant from the modern meanings here? So let me go to reason number 2, why it's important to know primitive characters, or understand them. Again, not to know them, just understand them. Second one is the original meaning are in the primitive characters and lost in modern writing. So I'm going to give you another 3 examples of how modern characters today have lost what the primitive writings were once because of many things that were happening and shaping Chinese writing. So, first character. This character means to watch or look at, to look at, and it's a verb. The primitive character is actually this, and so here this represents an eye, and it represents a hand. This was a little bit altered because today's character, the hand is written as such, like that, or like that. So this character, because of it was misplaced, it had to be shaped into this. So if you can see the picture meaning again, a hand over the eyes, meaning to watch. It's like putting your hand over your forehead so you can have clear vision of your eyes. Okay, hope this is making sense. So the next character is the very famous I, or me, anything to do with myself. The primitive character is actually a little bit different, and you might be surprised what it actually means. And also the word was ego as well as myself. So here a picture, this is actually weapons, and here you have a weapon facing another weapon, and they will like be in conflicts, and then therefore it will translate as my right. So somebody versus somebody, it's a battle of an ego. You can also think about having self-conflicts, it's like a mirror of myself, therefore an ego. So again, very different from the modern writing. This remained, but this had to change because of there was no equivalent of writing this in modern writing. And then the last character is this. This means to dare or be courageous. In the primitive meaning, the drawing is actually a little different, but the meaning is the same. So that is actually a bear being tied, and here's a whip, and here's a hand. So the whip remained here, and this character, which actually means ear in the modern writing, had to be replacing this character because it was the only closest thing that they could find, I guess. And then of course the hand will be translated to this character. So again, number 2, meaning original meaning are in primitive characters and lost in modern writing. Because again, if you had a whip and taming a bear, that means dare and courageous. So I'm hoping this is starting to make sense. And then the last one, the last reason why understanding primitives is good, because there's history and culture in the Chinese, with the ancient Chinese, and they live within some of these characters. A very basic example and a very basic character as well is this. This is the character that means name. The primitive meaning is as such. You have 2 things. Night, the moon, or representing dusk, and then you had a mouth. So back in the ancient times, whenever they will come back from night into their homes, they had to speak their name. They had to say, this is who is showing up, so they know who it is, because it's dark. So again, that's an ancient costume of the Chinese. And actually, even other tribes will do that as well. They will have special, that's why they will be called names, because it's something that they will be able to identify them with the rest. Okay, so another character that's actually very, very unique, and it's actually very popular as well nowadays because of spirituality, is this one. So again, like I said, means spiritual. It can also mean mystical. And the reason is because, as I'll explain, here the ancient writing for this is rain, and then we have the mouths or the different objects, and then of course here it doesn't change, and here we have people dancing. So dances, people dancing, objects on the rain. So if you can see that in a minute or think about it, that's actually how ancient people will do their rituals, and they will be spiritual. They will do dances and pray for the rain, because rain is what gave them life, what gave them their cultivation of life, and to reproduce objects, to make them live. Okay, so again, that's an ancient picture of what the ancient people were like. And then the last character is this. It is called a Tsun, or an inch. Again, it is not equivalent to the English inch, but more of the Chinese inch. And that is a term from Chinese medicine. A Tsun will be a thumb width, the length of a thumb. And where did this come from? Well, here we have a hand, which is this thing. And here we have the line, which is right there. And this will indicate the pulse. So we have the pulse, and then the hand. Hence the word inch, because their measurement for an inch was 1 tsun before they touched the hand. So the the Chinese doctor will place their hands on your pulse, which will be 1 inch away from your hand. So that's where the primitive character came from. Very interesting, right? So to recap, this series that I'm doing is all about this. I want to recreate all the ancient characters, so they make sense to you, make stories and pictures, so you can understand them better. And again, the point here is so you understand them. Don't need to memorize the ancient characters unless you're really learning the ancient primitive Chinese. Just understand where they come from, understand their history, and therefore they'll stick with you. That's how I learn. I no longer memorize, but when I understand something, I don't need to learn it again. I don't need to refresh it again, because I have an instant understanding of this. So I hope with this series they will help you out a lot, and please subscribe to get the latest updates coming up. Thank you so much, and see you then.